Good morning, students. Welcome to my next lecture on research methodology, which consists of your Unit 4. For Unit 4, today we would be discussing about classification of data. Data, as you all know, is the raw form of information. In fact, information is created through data. So, how many types of data we have? This is what we are going to discuss. The other thing which we are going to talk about is research application of secondary data, benefits of secondary data, evaluation of secondary data, classification of secondary data, and different data sources. And then we would be discussing on qualitative and quantitative data. So, I welcome you all to this class, and as you all know, you are all aware of it that there are two types of data: primary data and secondary data. Now you can understand this word primary. What does it mean, primary? Primary basically means that something which is prime, something which is prime. So, what is prime is something which comes out immediately or which is very important. So, primary data, I'm not saying that secondary data is not important, but primary data is important in the sense that you are trying to create a data on your own depending upon the objectives of the research which you have. Now, if I talk about secondary data, now what is secondary data? As the word itself says, that secondary data is a second-handed data. That means it has already been tabulated, it has already been created, and we are using it for our purpose for the sake of research objective. As you all know, the research methodology has around 12 steps, and we are on the 8th step of it. That we have to collect data and primary data as per the research objective which we have. So particularly today we are going to discuss about research objective, and we are going to discuss about research data. So, definition of primary data. It is original problem or project specific and collected for serving a particular purpose. Its authenticity or relevance is reasonably high. I hope you are getting what is written over here. It is original. That means depending upon the type of research which you have or the research objective which you are collecting data for your objective. So it becomes an original data. And problem or project specific is clear to you all. Problem and project specific, that means this data is created as per the problem and or the project specification. Collection is serving for particular purpose. It is authentic or relevance is reasonably high. Now, why it is authentic? Because you are yourself doing it, and it is a first hand data. So when it is a first hand data, naturally its authenticity. Authenticity means the uh, the uh, the reliability of the data, the validity of the data. It is very authentic. Next is your secondary data. It is not topical or research specific. As you topical or research specific, what does it mean? It means that this secondary data has already been created. So when it is created, it must have been created for some other purpose. For example, if I want to find out the number of mutual fund holders in the city of Bhopal, especially in Ayodhya Nagar. So one of the this data must has already been collected by the ये आपके investment capital market. This data has already been collected. So when it is collected, I want to use this data for my research. So I will have to find out different types of data available, and then we would go then I will pick up the data which is available and will use that data for my research. It is like finding a needle in the haystack. it Now this is, it can be economically or quickly collected by the decision maker in short span of time. That is one of the advantages of secondary data, that it is since it has already been collected and we are trying to use it for our specific research problem. Sorry. Research application of secondary data. Secondary data can be used in multiple stages in the courses of business research study. Problem identification formulation stage. If you want to identify your problem, so uh, in research methodology, the most important aspect is the first point or the first step. The first step is to identify your problem, because many a times when a person is undergoing a research, it is very difficult for him to identify the problem. So, in order to identify the problem and to formulate the objective, we need to have secondary data in front of us. If, for example, I want to find out that what is the extent of domestic violence in the city of, say, Sihor. So, how will I go about it? Now, how I will go about it, I want to develop a problem on this particular broad topic. So, I will collect secondary data already collected by police department or by human rights department or by NGOs, and then I would be using that data in order to formulate my objective. So this thing must be clear to you that secondary data can also be used for problem identification and formulation stage. Next is hypothesis design and sampling consideration. Oh, what is hypothesis design? Hypothesis is, it has been explained to you in Unit 3 also, that hypothesis is a probable relationship between two or more variables. And we have to see whether the variables are connected or not. So that is what is hypothesis design. So even if you have to make a design, you need to have data in front of you, and in case you are not working with primary data, you need to work with secondary data. Next, secondary data is also considered for sampling. Sampling means the amount of the number of samples which we take from a huge population. So for sampling consideration also, secondary data is used. Now next we go to the benefits and drawbacks of secondary data. The benefits of secondary data naturally is that it has resource advantage. What resource advantage will it have? So now this is a lecture where I cannot interact with you, but resource, what are the resources in one's life? Resources is like your time is a resource, capital is a resource, labor is a resource, then land is a resource. So all these factors of production are your resources. So when you want to minimize your time and when you want to minimize your cost of doing a research, because in order to do a research it involves a lot of money. R&D takes a lot of money. So when R&D takes a lot of money, so resource advantage is definitely there when we are trying to take data which has already been collected. Accessibility of data should be there. Naturally, secondary data is accessible to you. Then accuracy and stability of data is there because it is already, like, if I want to find out that how many literate people are there in India or in a particular state, then I can go to the census and I can find out that what is the level of literacy level of, say, Madhya Pradesh or Rajasthan or Delhi. So I will have a data which is accurate and stable. Then assessment of data can also be made because, as you know, the government or the consultants who have already taken this data would definitely find out that we will definitely have this knowledge that it is a true data. Now, drawbacks of secondary data is naturally going to be applicability of data and accuracy of data, because this is something which is not specific to your research problem. You will have to search it out from that. So that is why applicability of data and accuracy of data, they become a drawback in secondary data. Now, how are you going to evaluate secondary data? You are going to evaluate secondary data by undergoing sampling considerations, methodology of data collection, and analytical tool used, and subsequent reporting and interpretation of results. The sampling consideration means कि I've already explained you in the previous slide, and it has been explained to you in unit 3 that how we collect sample and what is the optimum way of collecting sample and how statistics helps you in collecting a good sample. Accuracy check of secondary data determines the significance of the source of information from where the data was collected for a specific study. For example, if I want to find out, if I want to know, not find out, if I want to know that what is the population of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So naturally, I'll go to the census and I'll find out. Now that is an accurate data. But if I want to find out the number of people or the number of women being affected through domestic violence, maybe my access of secondary data may not have a good accurate check. Okay, this is what is explained in this slide. Now, classification of secondary data. Company records are there. How are you going to classify secondary data? There are internal sources of data are available to you. Company records, employee records, sales data, cash register received, sales invoice, financial records, and sales reports. Let me tell you one thing, students, that when you are doing a plain research or an academic research, to get access to this kind of data, it becomes to get access to this type of data becomes a difficult task because you are not an employee there, and therefore you will not get access to sales data, cash register received, sales invoices. This is okay for those people. This is okay for those people who this is for those people who are already in the company and they are trying to find out or doing a research of their demand analysis. For them, this kind of data is available. So, data sources, secondary data, internal secondary data will not be available. External data sources, government sources, census data I've already explained, other government publications, other data sources are books and periodicals, guides, standard non-government statistical data. Computer stored data is already there. Reference database, source database based on the content of information. Nowadays, a lot of data is available through computer, because if you are accessing any kind of apps, any kind of social media sites, what you are basically doing is you are creating data, and this data is sold off by those social media owners. So that is how computer stored data is available to you based on storage and recovery mechanism, online database and CD-ROM database. The other is syndicated data sources. The syndicated service agencies are organizations which collect organization और product category. तो उसमें वो लोग क्या करते हैं? Surveys, product purchase panels, media specific panels, institutional syndicated data, retailer and wholesaler audits. All these data is available, but it is available at a cost. Different consultancy sites are available, and they are providing you data, and many a times when you open up your laptop also or your desktop also, you on internet you will find certain questionnaires floating into the questionnaires floating on the screen. So when the questionnaires are floating on the screen, why are they floating on the screen? Because the data is being accessed through you, and this data will be sold off to other companies for their demand and supply analysis. Now, all this data is required for our qualitative and quantitative data methods. Qualitative research, what is qualitative research? All exploratory researches are qualitative research. When you describe a certain phenomena, then it is a qualitative research. When you are trying to comprehend or understand a certain reason, then you are doing qualitative research. For example, if I want to reason out that why COVID-19 virus came out, what are the reasons behind it? So we would be using quantitative research along with it, but my research objective over here is qualitative research. Quantitative research, when the data to be studied needs to be quantified, you need to have a proper digits available to you in the form of numericals. So not in the form of numericals, in the form of digits, so that you can hypothesize your research in such a manner that the result is to be analyzed on only on numerical basis. That is quantitative research. Now, methods of qualitative research. We have observation methods. Observation methods are highly used in social research methodology methods. In this, we have structured format, unstructured format, disguised observation, mechanical observations. So, all see this lecture is just an introductory lecture to you all on data collection. Structured format, I can give you, you can have at least, you can make a presentation on structured format, unstructured format, and disguised observations and mechanical observations. Structured format में the questionnaire is already properly made up, and when the questionnaire is properly made up, you float those questionnaire to your subjects, and you get a structured format observation. Then you have, even if you do not float it to your subjects, but you are observing your subject, and your subject can also be your boss, your subject can also be your customers, your subjects can also be your students. Anyone can be your subject depending upon the research. Unstructured format, you are just observing it and you're putting it in your mind. You have a sharp mind, and you keep storing everything into your mind, and the moment your subject is away from you, you start noting down your points. That is unstructured format. Disguised observation, as the word suggests, that you just go and meet other people. You are meeting your subject not by explaining them that I am observing you. So that is disguised observation. And mechanical observation is simple. There are many psychological tests which can conduct mechanical observations. Content analysis. What is content analysis? It is original, first-hand, and problem specific. Due to these factors, it is categorized under primary methods. Content. What does content means? That whatever objective you have, whatever problem you have, based on that you are trying to analyze your data. The other is focus group method. It is a highly versatile and dynamic method of collecting information from a representative group of respondents. Focus group method. Very important. Why I want to find out that why my a certain few of my students, they are depressed in the class. Now that becomes my focus group. I try to create a research objective about it. So when I create a research objective about it, I can directly interact with them. I can interact with their parents, I can interact with their colleagues, I can interact with their friends, and I can get information. So when I can get information, I can analyze the data in that process. So that is why this word and that is why this word highly versatile and dynamic method. What does dynamic means? Dynamic means that which is changing. So that which is changing, and versatile becomes a focus group method. With this, I end your lecture on data collection. I hope it was an informative lecture for all of you. Thank you.